Jackson on the drive, kicks it out for man. Man, three-pointer, bang! Oh, what a man!
Magic down the middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12, good!
Here's Michael at the foul line, a shot on Elo, good! The Bulls win! They win it!
Now there's a steal by Murr. Underneath the DJ,
Going up over Bell, ball away. Yes! Yes! At the buzzer, he does it! Was there ever a doubt? A Smith screen, Posey will defend. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
It's a physical game. Oh, man, oh, my. A monster jam by Blake Griffin.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another post-game live here on Dime Dropper for the 2025-26 season. Before we get started, you already know the drill. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell for all things LA sports and your home for LA basketball. And of course, super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1 or a dime. Being a channel member entitles you to skip the line at post-game interviews. We have a members-only live every single Wednesday where you can jump on stage and debate me. We can break down plays and clips from any player you can think of. And you're entitled to special giveaways and have all your comments read in the live. Now, I know that if you guys just joined this, if you guys were just watching, I got my other live taken down because I was playing too many clips. So we were breaking down some film of this game, Clippers and Heat. And by the way, I will be talking about the Lakers. I watched a lot of their games. So we're going to be breaking those down as well after this. But you can't play a game on YouTube, and I think I was playing too much of it, so then YouTube took the video down. So I got to make sure that going forward, I don't just play a bunch of clips in quick succession. And I don't play a bunch of clips in quick succession, and I probably should go to the NBA.com version, not the Synergy version. But anyway, let's talk about this game real quick because the Spotify version, I'm going to keep it the same, like the 21 minutes I recorded. But for this one, man, I mean, Clippers, Heat, I said going into this game, this is going to be a huge test because we're 5-15. We just lost those two games. By the way, check those vlogs out. They're out on my channel. I've covered every single Clipper game but one so far this season on this channel, and every single one on Locked On Clippers, which you got to subscribe to for all things LA Clippers that I host 5 days a week. But it's like desperation. I've been saying blow it up for 3 years. And last game was the first time, these last two games were the first time where people were starting to like get on board with me about that, like a large chunk, because this looks old and slow and desperate. So I was trying to see how we came out against this Miami Heat team, who's number one in pace in the NBA. And now, and our transition defense is trash. So I'm looking at, can we handle Miami's fast-paced offense? And I'm going to be talking about it more when I talk about the Lakers Heat game, but they're using their big forwards and just running down the floor super fast, whether it's Jaquez or Larson or Wiggins or even Davion Mitchell, who's a stronger guy, just running downhill and trying to go into bodies, force them to collapse, and then kick it out, and then they're just attacking closeouts. They're not actually setting that many ball screens. They're just attacking closeouts. And there was a nice video on Prime's coverage of the NBA with Bam Adebayo and Norman Powell breaking down that they're just kind of reading and reacting, driving and kicking. So I was just ready to see how we would be able to handle that fast-paced Miami Heat offense. And, in the first half, we actually looked okay again, until we didn't. So let me just get to it, man. We needed a desperate performance and we didn't get it. There's people debating on my timeline whether James Harden quit tonight or whether he just played badly. I wasn't going to go the quit route, and I was calling him a quitter before we even got him. I was not going to go the quit route, but his performance tonight was an embarrassment. All he was doing was trying to bait for fouls, whether it be fouls on the arm up top or trying to go to the basket. He's not getting back when he loses the ball or misses a shot. And the non-Kawhi minutes, and we saw a glimpse of this in these last two games, but the non-Kawhi minutes were really, really bad in this game again. Really, really bad. And to start the game, here are the positives I'll say. We were down 14-6 right away. But then Chris Dunn had 7 points, including a 3-ball that he hit. Zoo got the ball on some mismatches around the basket where he got deep position and we actually got on the ball and he actually finished. So he had 6 points very early in the game. And then fucking, yeah, I did get copyrighted, man. And then we have, let's see. We actually went on an 8-0 run. So because the Heat don't set many screens, they're really ISOing a lot, but it's not like standstill ISO where, it's one guy dribbling a lot. It's one guy trying to just create an advantage. One guy trying to get by his man, draw help, and then make a play. And the thing is, you have to create that advantage. You have to get by someone. So when a guy is getting downhill and the defense is basically set, you'll have guys that are able to help off of their man and get their hand on the ball. So we were getting some steals. We'd gone out on an 8-0 run and cut it down a little bit. But, one thing that stuck out to me was it was just a rough one for James. Just too stagnant. That same terrorist ball that I can't stand. Just dribbling at the top. Everyone standing around. And then finally making a decision to get rid of the ball. And oftentimes we end up getting a decent shot. But it's how late it is. He delays everything, Sometimes, like, the untrained eye does not see that, when someone's open and you fizz them the ball right away, they can get an open shot, but waiting 1 or 2 seconds before you make that pass, now the defense is set. Now the guy's not as open. It makes a difference. So making quick decisions, I just think Harden sometimes he just waits to see what he can do, and it takes too long. And in this game, it was just too stagnant. He was lagging on the pass. He was baiting for fouls and then gambling for steals. We could not score when Kawhi went out of the game. When Kawhi went out of the game in the first quarter, and it wasn't a great lineup, I'll say. It wasn't a great lineup, but Kawhi came out of the game with 4 minutes and 5 seconds left in the first. We're down 18-22. By the end of the first quarter, we're down 35-24. So a 7-point difference. We went from down 4 to down 11 at the end of the first. Kobe Brown, not an NBA player. I still believe that, unfortunately. Cannot make open shots. He missed 1 open 3, and then he got run off the line. He didn't even get run off the line. He had 1 open 3 that he missed, and then he got the ball after James Harden waited too long to pass, but still got the ball wide open, hesitated on the 3, goes baseline, and gets blocked by Drew Smith and the rim. So, anyway, it's too big of a hat, hater. It's too big of a hat. And you should be thankful I'm even responding to you. But anyway, I don't know. What am I supposed to? My hair is too bad right now. I got to keep it. Anyway, so we're down by 11 at the end of the first quarter, 35-24. I thought James was bad. Second quarter, and I'm only singling out James because I'll you know what? You want me to include Kobe Brown in there? We'll include Kobe Brown in there. I think both of them were not great in the first quarter, but everybody else was fine in the first quarter, that is. Second quarter, actually, no, Kawhi wasn't great either. He was 0 for 3 and he got blindsided from behind. Second quarter, Tyler Hero. And by the way, this was another theme of this game, and it's been a theme for us all season. There was a lot of things that came out in this game that have just been consistent themes for us all season. Teams draining every 3 on us. Now, I get it. Part of it is on our defense, it not being good. But teams are just kind of shooting outlier from 3 against us. Bam Adebayo was hitting tween pull-up threes with a hand in his face. Davion Mitchell is shooting 36%, and he was 100% from the field tonight. 100%. Tyler Hero, he's a tough shot maker. But, man, Tyler Hero's making contested step-backs and 40-foot heaves to beat the shot clock in the beginning of the second quarter while everyone else on his team is making threes. So it wasn't just like Tyler Hero's making tough shots. I know Tyler Hero can make tough shots. I know Norman Powell makes those shots, but it's Davion and Bam and everyone doing it at once while we still just cannot make open threes. In this game, we shot 45% from the field. The Heat shot 53%. We shot 23 more free throws than them and shot 80% from the free throw line. They shot 83% from the free throw line, but shot 23 less attempts. So we'll take that. But the 3-ball disparity, drastic. We shot 31% from 3, 9 for 29, not even registering 30 attempts. And they shot 24 for 46 from downtown. 52%. I mean, 52% from 3. Wiggins 2 for 3. Bam 5 for 8. Powell 6 for 10. Davion 4 for 4. Tyler Hero 4 for 6. And it's partially on us as well. It's not just the outlier shooting, but I really do think that part we're going to see some regression from other teams. I've been saying that for a couple of games now, and it has not happened, but I do think that some teams will start cooling down from 3. But when I'm looking at what we're doing, we actually made a run. And by the way, they were on a 15-2 run to get them up 40-24, but we went on a run. Jordan Miller was back until he wasn't. He got injured again. I guess he re-aggravated his, I think it was his hamstring. But Jordan Miller came in and was getting to the line a little bit. The only thing with Jordan Miller is he's constantly playing off one leg. So, he gets himself caught sometimes. My friend Will always says play off 2 feet. But he's still good. He gets downhill. He gets to the free throw line. We can use that. Kawhi Leonard, though, in this stretch, and this was probably our best stretch of basketball this season without James Harden in the game. It was Kawhi Leonard. It was Chris Paul. It was Nico Batum, Zubats, and for a second, it was Jordan Miller, and then it became Chris Dunn. And we started playing pretty well. We actually started getting some stops. Kawhi started getting really aggressive. He started with, after Jordan Miller got 4 free throw attempts and made all 4 of them, he actually had 6 points. 6 points in that stretch, Jordan Miller. Then Kawhi got to the line, and then he turned the corner and dropped coverage and made a layup over Khalil Ware. We started getting some stops. Nico hit a 3, cut it down to make it a tie game, actually. We ended up taking the lead. So Kawhi was heating up. He was playing really well. We were up we were down 47-46 with 6.5 left in the second quarter. And at this point, I'm not even getting confident. I'm like, all right, what's going to happen in that second half, though? And it didn't even have to take to the second half. James Harden comes right back in the game. And this is when I made the comment that he hijacked the game on Twitter. Now, upon watching some of those plays again with Ash and the previous stream that got shut down, maybe I was a little bit harsh on him. But here's the thing. We're incredibly stagnant and dependent on him to just dribble. It's not even that we're dependent on him. It's the way he plays basketball. Constantly dribbling at the top while everyone's standing around. He cannot make a quick move. Often, I should say. It's not like he never does it. He cannot make a quick move. He has to dribble 100 times while everybody stands around, and then he'll take a contested step-back 3. There was one possession in the first quarter that no one else touched the ball. He just came up the floor, dribble, tween, cross, step-back 3. Brick. But he gets fouled on it. And that makes you think that that's good process because he gets 3 free throws and makes them. No, it's not good process. It's fucking terrible basketball. And I don't give a fuck that we lost. I'm done with acting like this is tolerable. And I know not every Clipper fan should feel the same way. He's been a great Clipper. I don't give a fuck. At this point, what means more to me? The sport of basketball or the Clippers? Anybody that knows me knows that it's not a debate. Basketball is my life. I coached like 7 teams. I've played my whole life. I watched my whole life. Like, I am not going to, unless he gets us to the conference finals at bare minimum, change my opinion of Harden, because he is who he is. And I've told you who he is. And I'm not going to say he quit in this game. But I can't stand what he's never going to win. I told you guys he's never going to win. And we traded first-round picks for him to salvage a sinking fucking ship with these 2 motherfuckers that are always hurt, Kawhi and Paul George. And now you're seeing the things that I've been saying. Like, James Harden has been our MVP this season. The MVP of a 5-16 fucking team. Does he deserve better? Like, sure. But, like, what does that mean, deserve better? He deserves a chance to compete. So then you can all see him lose again, and I told you so. He does not play championship basketball. He can get you to the playoffs. He can create enough good shots for you. But this just standing around watching him and then he doesn't play defense and he doesn't get back in transition, that shit is not good hoops. Even when he's cooking, it is not good basketball to me. It's terrible. I was watching with, hold on a second. I was watching with someone else. And every time I watch with someone else, they say the same shit. that this is not like, how do you tolerate this? This is ISO. It's everyone standing around. But no, because everybody that's a Clipper fan or a Harden fan sees the brilliance that he ends up producing, which is relative brilliance. They think it's okay. It's not championship basketball. It's keeping you above water basketball. And when he came back in the game, the first possession, we try to get something for Kawhi. Kawhi is getting denied by Wiggins. So Kawhi sets a screen for Harden. Harden, instead of trying to get downhill on Wiggins, shoots a sidestep three, even though he's been bricking. And then one possession later, he comes off that classic right to left curl. He gets inside and he gets stripped. And then he's complaining and doesn't get back on defense. Then he's late to get back on defense. There's a 50-50 ball. He and Zoo don't win. Davion Mitchell hits a three and we're down by 6 at the snap of a finger. So he was playing like shit. Kawhi, we had the best stretch of non-Harden minutes with the non-Harden minutes of the season. Then he comes back in and immediately gets involved and loses the ball. Or, you know what? If you don't even want to blame Harden for coming in and just like hijacking the game, because I'm not going to fully blame it on him, Ty Lue, after Harden just shoots a sidestep brick, draws up that play for him, instead of getting the ball to Kawhi Leonard, who's hot right now, mind you, who's hot right now. We don't get the ball to Kawhi Leonard. Disgusting. And then Kawhi comes out of the game. Now it's really on James to produce. So like if he's going to come out, Kawhi Leonard, and James is going to get his chance to run the offense, we got to make sure we feed the hot hand. And James has got to know that too. But whatever. And like, I don't think, like, I don't even know what I'm going to say. Fuck this. So yeah, no urgency. CP3's missing open mid-ranges against drop coverage. And Ty, I know it wasn't that long, left him in with James Harden. I don't think Chris Paul and James Harden should ever play together this season. They don't do shit off the ball. They need the ball to be effective. They're not willing to catch and shoot threes, and they don't play defense. Chris Paul's just too slow. The Heat went on an 18-0 run during that stretch after Harden came back in the game. And I'm not blaming it all on Harden, but he was a catalyst to the destruction, in my opinion. Miami was hitting every single three. We cannot hit open threes. John Collins has no left hand. He got pinned by Bam going up with his right hand on the left side. And I'm going to say this about Kobe Sanders. Kobe Sanders needs an extended run that he's not just a catch and shoot three-point guy, because that's not who he is. Or just initiate a play to throw to James Harden and then get out of the way. Like, that's not who he is. He needs to get a chance to fuck up. He needs to get a chance to make mistakes. And he's not going to do this on this win-now team, this fake win-now team. That's a bunch of old has-beens that need to get shipped off to Siberia tomorrow. You have to make a change. Ty Lue, I've given him every single excuse, every single pass. I like what he did, and he pulled the starters out. But it's time for him to, something has to be done. This loss was too embarrassing. I don't give a shit that we made it a 17-point game to end it at 140-123. I do not care that we cut it down to 12. We were down 64-100 at one point. Something has to be done. And I think Ty will be the fall guy and he gets fired. But is he going to get fired tomorrow? I don't know. Anyway, super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1 a dime. If you want your comment to be read, you send a super chat, or you can become a member of the channel. There's a lot of perks involved with that. We're going to have a giveaway at 25 and 50 members, one for Laker fans, one for Clipper fans. So there's just too many comments to read right now. I'm not going to read your comments. So if you guys are trying to debate me, you can become a member. I mean, I have too many people in here for that. So until then, you're just another person in the chat. Yeah, so 18-0 run. They're making every single three. Andrew Wiggins was showing some of our young guys what it meant to play against NBA length and size in this game. Blocking shots. Like, Kobe Sanders was wide open for a three, and he probably thought he was wide open. No, Wiggins sent that shit to the third row. And then, he's going into Sanders' chest, misses a shot, gets the offensive rebound, and puts it up, and he gets up in the air so quick on that second jump, Andrew Wiggins, and you're like, holy shit, like, this dude is still athletic as hell. So, yeah, and then Norman Powell goes on a heater. And the thing is, we've seen him make those shots, coming off the curl, going left to right, from way downtown, even with a hand in his face, he can hit that. And by the way, when Kawhi Leonard went, sat down, let's see what the score was in that second quarter. Yeah, come in. Come here, because I want a second opinion. Close the door. Close the door. I want a second opinion, right? I was watching this game with someone because all you apologists want to say that I'm being biased. So I want somebody else who played at a much higher level than me to come describe what he was seeing, about our process. Give me some brief observations.
I'll get in the camera. I was getting frustrated watching the game. Me and Dime, we think very similarly in a lot of ways when it comes to basketball. We like players that share the ball. We like guys who play hard. Straight up, I love James Harden. I loved him for a lot of years. I just am not on board with the way he plays. I think it's counterproductive to what winning teams do. I think it only hurts teams. He said Amari Bailey. That's funny. And I'm lefty. No, it was just crazy though. I mean, I felt bad. I was just like, I was telling Dime while we were watching the game. I'm like, I feel bad for Clipper fans that you're subjected to this because you're at the mercy of James Harden. You can't do much.
The devil's advocate is he's been our best player this season.
Of course. I mean, he has the most chance to make plays. Shoot, he's a great player. He's a generational player, 100%. But at this phase of his career, in the way he's playing, there's a level of complacency. There's look how the Heat played. They were sharing the ball. Guys were playing hard. They're boxing out. They're talking. Their hands are out. They're active. I mean, I don't know. It's just like
we'll just entertain one of the fanboys' comments. This guy's a consistent fanboy. Harden deferred all night. Why not say anything about the team shooting less than 50% with more than 11 shots each, though? Because he's referring to the fact that Harden only had 6 shot attempts. So what is it? What I would say, actually, I'm just going to let you handle that. He only had 6 shot attempts, so he technically deferred is what this guy's saying.
Yeah. I mean, if your idea of deferring is dribbling the clock out, for 16 seconds, 13 seconds, and forcing a guy to get a shot up and saying, oh, but they missed a shot. That's a consistent thing. I don't know, man. I don't know how anybody justifies James Harden. I mean, look how he plays. He just stands there. He's just dribbling the ball around. He's super cool. It's a level of, just complacency. If you're going to blame it on the guys who are missing these shots, I mean, that's just, sure, they have to hit their shots. Don't get me wrong. They're
Each
NBA
player
guys.
had 11 shots, though.
I mean, okay, then if they're not hitting, then James needs to take over. Maybe he shouldn't defer. I don't know. That's besides the point to me. It's a level of play. It's the overall attitude around James, in this phase.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I didn't even just bring somebody on to agree with me. It's just that I was watching the game with someone and they thought similar things. And I'm not even, by the way, for those that are wondering who that was, we had an episode with him early on when I made my channel. He played with Peyton Pritchard at Oregon, and he comes from great basketball lineage with the Johnson family. So we actually had our first Dime Dropper featuring with him, the very first one. If Bones Got Busy still in here, link that video in the chat, Dime Dropper featuring. But anyway, so look, I'm not the only one that is saying it, and I'm not blaming James solely, by the way. I just thought that of all the players, he was the most disappointing. And so much so, by the way, to the point that, and by the way, second quarter, we got outscored 41-32. So we were down 76-56 at halftime. In the second half, we come out, and I'm thinking, let's see the response. We're down 20. We can still make a run. We're not gonna, but let's just see what we've got. In the first half, Ivica Zubac was not closing out on three-point shooters that were supposed to let shoot, the likes of Bam and Jaquez and these guys. Davion Mitchell made a 3 where James Harden backed up and he let him shoot, right? Then in the second half to begin, Davion Mitchell has the ball and Zubac is feet away from him. And they've been making threes all game long. So I could imagine that the coaching staff told him to run guys off the line, press up and don't let guys shoot. Davion Mitchell drains a 3. On the next play down, Zoo's trying to get post position. James Harden throws an entry pass from beyond half court. I know sometimes he can make them, but he didn't even throw it to Zoo's inside hand. He threw it to the outside hand, and he's throwing it beyond half court. When we're struggling to defend in transition, you're giving the ball away that loosely? It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment knowing what's on the line, knowing that every game matters when you put yourself in this hole. So then Ty Lue took everyone out. And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. He put in Chris Paul, Cam Christie, Yannick, Kobe Sanders, and Kobe Brown. Because Miller got hurt. And at least we saw some fight. We saw some energy. We saw Yannick have a lob from Chris Paul. We saw Yannick have a push shot. We saw Yannick try to go at Bam Adebayo and lose the ball. I am okay with seeing them fuck up. I'm okay with seeing Kobe Sanders learn how to make NBA reads. I am okay with Cam Christie coming off a pick and roll and they go under the screen, he pops it in bricks. I'm okay with him learning these things. I am okay with losing. I am not okay with this product anymore. It's bullshit. It's mind-numbing to watch. I can't watch Harden anymore. It's unwatchable even when he plays well. And then Kawhi, I mean, credit to Kawhi. You know, we slowly brought the starters outside of James Harden back in the game. Kawhi was on a heater. You know, another game. 36 points in 30 minutes. He was balling. Finally, he got 30 minutes. Whoop-de-frickin-do. 36 points. 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 1 turnover on 12 for 21 shooting, 3 for 6 from downtown, and 9 for 10 from the free throw line. So he balled the fuck out. He had 18 points in the fourth quarter, and we cut it down to 19 points in the fourth quarter, and we cut it down to 12. He looked good. So that's the one positive is Kawhi is starting to look like Kawhi. But was he still on a minutes restriction? I don't know. He got capped at 30 minutes. I don't know, man. Oh, my goodness. And then in the third quarter, what else? I mean, Zoo came back in. He had a nice dunk. He showed some urgency. Chris Dunn showed some urgency. Chris Paul just, I mean, on both ends of the floor, just horrific. He finally made some threes at the end. But that was basically it. We went on a 19-6 run. It was a fake comeback, and we lost 140-123. We trailed by as many as 38 points in this game. 38 points. For the Miami Heat, they got 22 points on 9 for 14 shooting and 2 for 3 from downtown from Andrew Wiggins to go along with 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks. They got 16 points and 12 assists to go along with 2 steals and 3 rebounds from Davion Mitchell on 6 for 6 shooting and 4 for 4 from downtown. Bam Adebayo had 27 and 14 to go along with 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks on 10 for 17 shooting and 5 for 8 from 3. The dude was hitting tween pull-up threes. I mean, that's just bad luck. I'm sorry. Those are just like bad luck. And again, I think the luck will go in our direction with other teams not shooting well, not shooting as well, but we do not shoot well. And I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon. That's why I'm saying we should play Brook Lopez again, even with his defensive deficiencies, to make some threes. Anyway. Appreciate the people in here, man. And then we got Tyler Hero, 22 points, 8 for 15 shooting, 4 for 6 from downtown, 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Every starter for the Heat had 16 points or higher, and they all shot over 50% from the field. Norman Powell had 30 on us on 12 for 18 shooting and 6 for 10 from downtown. For us, I mean, let's start with it. We already talked about Kawhi. John Collins was not good enough. Right now, he looks like a flop. I can't lie. He had some good moments in the first half, but right now he looks like a flop. He has tunnel vision. He cannot stay in front of anybody with some sort of speed. He's not as good at basketball as Norman Powell. Let's just put it that way. He's not as good at basketball. We thought that Collins plus Beal would, supplement that, and it has not been the case. But I still think the best is yet to come from John. But he is who he is. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Thankfully, he did not turn the ball over, but he shot 4 for 12 from the field, and he cannot make an open 3. 0 for 3 from downtown. He needs to knock down shots because we got him for that reason very largely. Zubats, 16 and 13 to go along with 2 assists and 1 turnover on 7 for 13 shooting. You might see those stats and see that he was a +4 in the plus minus, and Kawhi Leonard was a +8 in the plus minus in a game that we lost by 17, and say, oh, Zoo was pretty good. Zoo was not that good. He shot well, but he's missing a lot of his jump hooks that he usually makes. He's still posting up from too high. He has complacency on defense on several occasions. I mean, it's just, he's not been good enough. He's not been good enough. Bam Adebayo outplayed him. He looked like he was like, oh, I'm not going to let anybody compare us because I'm going to come out and sun this fool. James Harden, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 turnovers on 2 for 6 shooting, 1 for 4 from 3, and 6 for 7 from the free throw line in 20 minutes. He was a minus 39. Norman Powell said after the game, according to Bones, got busy. I would have never guessed they were going to be 5-16 and where they're at right now. That's something for them to have to deal with and handle. I'm not worried about them anymore, as he shouldn't be. James Harden it was terrorism tonight. It really was terrorism. I don't even know how else to say it. But by the way, I'm not going to say he quit, though. I'm not on the train saying that he quit and he's given up on the team. I just think he was ass tonight. If he does it again, then maybe he quit. Because it's not out of character for him. But whatever. And then the bench. Nico, we saw some decent stuff there. 6 points on 2 for 2 shooting from 3. And obviously, those were both his shots. Yannick had 6 points and a rebound. A turnover when he was trying to go at Bam on 3 for 4 shooting. Missed both his free throws. Chris Paul had 8 points, 3 dimes, 1 turnover on 3 for 7 shooting and 2 for 3 from downtown. Jordan Miller, 6 points in 6 minutes. 1 rebound on 1 for 3 shooting and 0 for 1 from 3. Kobe Brown, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, which sounds all fine and dandy on 1 for 4 shooting and 0 for 2 from 3. I just don't think he's good enough. Kobe Sanders, 10 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, 1 turnover on 4 for 11 shooting. He was actually 4 for 8. 4 for 7 from inside the arc, 0 for 4 from outside the arc. So Kobe Sanders, his open threes starting to hit a little slump after his very impressive start when he first got in the rotation. But I just don't think he's just a spot-up shooter. I really don't. If you've noticed, he's shooting like better on contested shots than uncontested. And then Cam Christie, he's not shot well in NBA minutes, but I think Cam just needs an extended burn to let him brick a lot, and then he's going to start getting confident once he starts making shots. I'm telling you. 0 for 6 for him, 0 for 2 from 3, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 turnover, a donut in 15 minutes for Cam. But again, I don't care about these minutes. So where do we go from here? Something has to change. I think Ty should be either fired by next game because the team has been it's just lost. But realistically, everybody should get traded. I mean, damn near. Everybody should get traded. Kawhi is playing good basketball right now. Let him play well for another month and then trade his ass. Because some team is going to see how he's playing and be like, holy shit, maybe we'll take a flyer on him. He's going to have an expiring contract after 1 more year. And then Harden. No, this is delusional. This is exactly what we should not do. We need to trade. If anything, we should be trading them. They're the only ones that are going to give us value. You want to keep Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, you're delusional. You're delusional, but this guy's already delusional. So what am I going to say? Anyway, that's it for me in this one, guys. We lose it 140-123. We are 5-16 on the season. It is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. I want this shit blown up sky high. I cannot stand watching Harden anymore. And then everybody's like, oh, how can you blame Harden? Kawhi's been out the whole year. So let's blame them both. I don't give a shit who you blame more. Just get them to both the fuck off my team. And I don't care about, they've done this, that for the Clippers. We have not made it past the first round since people were wearing masks. Anyway, now we're going to shift gears to a little bit more of a neutral topic, and that's the Lakers. So if you're a Laker fan, tune in. If you just want to hear me talk about the Lakers, tune in. But let's talk real quick about the Lakers and a bunch of these games I've watched, because as I told my Laker fans, I said I am going to make sure that I am up to date by game number 20 or 21. Would I take VJ Edgecombe for Kawhi? Of course I would. So I told my Laker fans that I would talk about every game. I would attempt to at least, and then by game 20 we'll be live. So there were some very interesting games I wanted to talk about. And one of them, and I wasn't going to talk about this one, but it was too interesting to not. Lakers against Heat, funny enough. Miami, this is when they really showed me the way that they play. There was no Ayton in this game and no Norman Powell in this game. But the Lakers threw the first punch. They were up 12-2. You saw a little bit of Marcus Smart doing a little bit of everything. Rui Hachimura knocking down shots like he has so far in the season. And then Luka taking over. The Jackson Hayes vertical threat was killing drop coverage with those lobs with Luka. And then Jackson Hayes got off to an insane start to this game. He hit his first 3 since 2022-23, like a straight up a 3, Jackson Hayes. And that wasn't even to beat the clock. I was shocked. Rui Hachimura was hot. Luka was throwing some amazing passes. Jake LaRavia was knocking down shots and moving well without the ball. He has really good footwork around the rim. Sometimes he gets into trouble playing off 1 foot too, though, like Jordan Miller, where he gets caught jump passing. But he has really nice pivots and stuff around the basket when he's attacking closeouts and like comes to a jump stop. But this game was the Marcus Smart game. He was everywhere, looking like vintage Smart, diving on the floor for loose balls, getting to offensive rebounds, playing good defense. And this thing about the Lakers, they do not have a very good defense. They do not have great point of attack guys. So Marcus Smart actually has huge weight to carry on this team, especially when Gabe Vincent is out. So without him, I don't know if they'd be, having this kind of start to the season. He did a really good job in this game, moving his feet, contesting shots. And then this is why I really wanted to talk about this game. Bronny James was getting real rotation minutes. Bronny James and actually playing decently. This man was had some nice moments of driving and kicking. And then on an alley-oop, Austin Reeves found Bronny for a dunk. I was shocked. The crowd went crazy. I was like, oh my God. But the Heat kind of inched back in the game, and they were just pushing pace off of misses. Even off of makes, they were pushing pace. Larson, Jovic, Hawkes, just as I said earlier in the Clippers live, just ramming into guys' chests, forcing the defense to collapse, and then making plays. Because the thing about the Heat is they don't have many guys, and at this time, Tyler Hero still wasn't playing. They don't have many guys that can create out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Norman Powell's not one of those guys. Bam is not really one of those guys. Davion Mitchell's not one of those guys. So they need to create an advantage. But how are they going to do that? By playing fast and by moving without the ball. That's how they create the advantage. Because in pick and roll, outside of Hero, nobody's good enough to even go over the screens with, really. Wiggins, Norm, these guys are all really good attacking closeouts, as we saw with Norm last year. And that's the whole goal of this team. So it's really genius from Eric Spoelstra. Really genius, who I think is the best coach in the NBA right now. So end of the first quarter, and the Lakers, it was super high scoring. Lakers were up 43-36. In the second quarter, I thought it was still the Marcus Smart show, doing everything right, taking charges, contesting shots, getting deflections, nice cuts, good passes. And that's another thing he brings to the table for the Lakers is another guy that can pass and set up the offense on certain possessions. Outside of Austin and Luka, without LeBron and no Gabe Vincent, you need another guy that can do that, and that's what he's been able to do. Luka, as the case in so many of the games so far this season, he could not be kept off the line. He just kept getting the free throw line, keeps getting bombed, and is in aggressive attack mode at all times. I mean, the way he has started this season, he looks night and day different from the one we saw the Lakers have last season, the Luka that we saw the Lakers have last season. And then Rui continuing to be extremely efficient, whether it be open threes, pump fake and stepping into that mid-range, or even, in isolation against a smaller guy, turning around for that mid-range that he likes. And Vando, thought he was doing a pretty good job rebounding, being active, and the Lakers just looked very formidable offensively in that first half. They outscored the Heat 34-27 in the second to have a 77-63 lead at halftime. But the Heat would not go easily. They had two separate 8-0 runs in the third, one led by Hawkes, another one led by Wiggins. And it started with the Lakers shooting and missing a lot of threes, both contested and wide open. And it starts with Reeves and Luka. If they're going to settle for contested threes, that's going to lead to long misses. That's what the Heat want to do. They want to get out and run. And the Lakers' transition defense is whatever. So when they're jacking up a lot of tough shots, Heat were getting back in the game. Hawkes was a beast in this game, attacking the rim relentlessly in his homecoming, and a lot of Luka jump passes, because he has a tendency to do that. Too many jump passes. And in the third quarter, the Heat actually outscored the Lakers 35-25. So it was a 4-point game going into the fourth. And at this point, the Lakers just had to close. I thought Jake LaRavia did a really good job in that fourth quarter, finishing at the basket, contesting shots, got a big steal, rebounded, did a little bit of everything. And he's been off to a great start in those first 7 games. And then Reeves, some big shots late. Marcus Smart with some big shots late. And I just thought Bronny had his best stretch ever. I think he closed this game, driving and kicking. And we know what Bronny can do defensively. That's where he is an NBA player. It's the offense where he doesn't look like an NBA player. But Bronny legitimately was closing this game for large stretches. It was a 4-point game with 7.5 left, and Bronny played until, he played until he basically closed the game. He closed the game. He went out with a minute left. So Bronny James actually closed the game. Anyway, so that was that one. The Lakers won that 130-120 to advance to 5-2. The Heat had no one score over 20 except for Jaime Jaquez, who had 31 points and 8 rebounds on 11 for 16 shooting and 9 for 13 from the free throw line. The Heat did not shoot as well from 3 in the game, 27%, as opposed to what they shot tonight. But they shot 51% from the field. The Lakers also shot 51% from the field, but they only shot 33% from 3, but which was still higher than the Heat. Bronny James, 2 points, 2 assists, 3 steals, 18 minutes of game time. Jake LaRavia, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals off the bench for the Lakers on 10 for 13 shooting, 2 for 3 from deep, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. What a start to the season for him. And the Lakers, besides LaRavia, only got 9 points off their bench. It was the starters who all scored 11 or more points. Marcus Smart, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. No turnovers on 4 for 9 shooting and 3 for 7 from deep. Really good game for him. Jackson Hayes, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block on 7 for 7 shooting. Rui, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a turnover on 6 for 12 shooting and 3 for 5 from 3. So 50-60 splits for Rui. And then the main men, Austin Reeves, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 turnovers on 9 for 22 shooting. Did shoot too many threes, as you can see from the stat line. 4 for 14 from 3, 5 for 8 from 2, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. He had another 20-plus point game en route to a Laker victory. And then Luka, my player of the game, triple-double, 29 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 steals, 5 turnovers on 9 for 22 shooting, 1 for 11 from 3, 8 for 11 from 2, 10 for 12 on the free throw line. So the Lakers won that one. And then the next game, I actually didn't watch this one. I just watched the extended highlights. Shocking, maybe the most shocking one of the Lakers season. In Portland, without Luka Doncic, without Austin Reeves, who would miss a couple of games here. And this was the Nick Smith Jr. game and DeAndre Ayton revenge game. First quarter, Lakers are down by 9. You're like, oh, this is how it's supposed to go. The Blazers are just better than them. You know, the Blazers had they had their normal starting lineup. And the Blazers had already beaten the Lakers this season with Austin Reeves. But that second quarter began the change. The Lakers outscored the Blazers by 8. Nick Smith Jr. was hitting pull-up threes versus drop coverage, hitting step backs in drop coverage, and just gaining confidence, and had some nice driving kicks. And Rui and Ayton were rolling on all cylinders, hitting all their shots. So it was just one of those games where you need guys to step up, and Rui Hachimura stepped up, whether it be knocking down shots off the catch, off of Nick Smith Jr.'s passes, and just finishing plays, you know, his turnaround jumpers, his mid-range jumpers. Same with Ayton, catching the ball at the foul line, his jump hooks around the rim. And Portland just turned it over way too much and shot like shit from 3. 22% from 3 for them. Tamani Kamara was 3 for 11. Denny Avdia was 3 for 9. And Shaedon Sharpe was 1 for 7 from downtown. And Holiday was 0 for 6. So if you combine their starters together, they shot a collective 7 for 33 from deep. The starters, and they turned the ball over 18 times. Nick Smith Jr. had 25 points off the bench to go along with 6 assists on 10 for 15 shooting and a ridiculous 5 for 6 from 3. And one thing when it comes to this Laker team without Luka and Austin Reeves, they get to play faster. They get to get out and run more. And that was something that they took advantage of with all the turnovers they created from Portland. And also, you're taking away 2 of your weakest defenders with Luka and Austin Reeves. So you get better defensively. You get more minutes of Smart. You get more minutes of LaRavia, who I don't think is very good defensively, but he's better than Reeves and Luka, and he has good hands. You get 21 Vando minutes, right? So Marcus Smart had 9 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. Did turn the ball over 5 times, though, but it was a plus 10. Jake LaRavia had 11 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. So he's, again, a very active hands, and he shot 50%, 5 for 10, 0 for 3 from downtown, and 1 for 2 from the free throw line. But the main men, it was Nick Smith, Rui Hachimura, and DeAndre Ayton in this game, each with 25-plus points. Rui Hachimura had 28 points to go along with 4 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers on 10 for 15 shooting, 2 for 4 from 3, and 6 for 6 from the free throw line. 66, 50, 100 splits for Rui. Unreal. The start that he's been on these first 8 games. And then DeAndre Ayton, what a revenge game for him. 29-10 to go along with 2 assists. Ever since that first game against the Warriors, he's been really good. 29-10 on 14 for 19 shooting. And you know it's in him. He also had 3 blocks. You know it's in the guy. It's just a matter of how badly he really wants it. But anyway, so that's that game. Lakers advance to 6-2 and make it 2 wins on the spin. Actually, no, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 wins on the spin. 4 wins on the spin there. Then they played against the San Antonio Spurs, and the Spurs have been one of my favorite watches in the league so far this season. And in this one, you still did not have Austin Reeves. You had Stephon Castle guarding Luka Doncic, and I love the physicality that San Antonio approached this game with. The Lakers actually had Rui on Wemby and DeAndre Ayton on Harrison Barnes so they could switch the pick and rolls. And because they wanted to try to, what I've seen teams try to do with Wemby is they don't want taller, slower guys on him. They want stronger guys that he can't bully. He's going to shoot over the top of them, but he won't be able to just blow by. So, because Wemby is still skinny, he doesn't always take advantage of his size, but he's gotten a lot better in that department since his rookie year for sure. Wemby and Olynyk were in drop coverage. Ayton was in drop coverage. Champagnie got off to a pretty hot start from 3. And the Spurs defense was good. I mean, you got Stephon Castle there, but you also have Wemby behind him, which makes things very difficult. And Jeremy Sohan, this was also a return for him on the season. But Luka, he actually got off to a pretty solid start in terms of his defense in this game. 2 blocks in the first quarter, which was the first time he had 2 blocks in a quarter since 2022. And I mean, Luka was getting, roughed up a little bit. And he was foul betting like crazy against the physicality, just like bitching on every single bump. And it was tough. It was 29-26 Spurs after 1. And I was just thinking to myself, no Austin Reeves. Let's see how they do in the non-Luka minutes against a team like this. And the Spurs perimeter ball pressure was really causing some Laker turnovers. But Smart, Rui, and again, Bronny James gave, and by the way, I think Bronny James had like 6 assists in that Portland game too. So 2 straight good games for Bronny. And he was giving them some good minutes with Luka out in this game. And Luka and Wemby were both in foul trouble. Wemby had 3 fouls with 8 minutes and 30 seconds in the second quarter, and he came out for a large stretch. Luka had 3 fouls at 7 minutes and 30 seconds, but he stayed in. And Rui Hachimura, like just playing off Luka, has been so amazing in these first 9 games. I mean, this guy just doesn't miss anymore. Luka had an insane pass to him, by the way, over his head, where I did not. The best passes are the ones that when you see the court, watching it on TV, you're like, okay, that guy's open. And he passed it to a guy you didn't even think was open. That's how you know it was a dime. So Luka had a pass like that. So in the second quarter, the Lakers outscored the Spurs 34-30. We're up by 1 going into the half. And my only thought was, all they got to do is stay the course. Luka's going to have to bring it home. And it's amazing the load that Reeves and Luka, when the other one is not played, have played, the load that they've carried, in these games. And they've been able to actually succeed. But, I mean, they've gotten help, but it all starts with them creating offensive advantages. So in the second half, we started seeing the Lakers double Wemby a lot more. And I thought Wemby made some pretty good reads, was finding open guys. But Luka, I have to say, he was as active on defense as I've seen him for a while, getting his hands on the ball and stuff like that. DeAndre Ayton on the offensive end was finishing plays, lobs at the basket, stuff that Luka dropped off for him. So that was a good sign to see, if you're a Laker fan, him continuing to play well. But the Spurs went on an 8-0 run, in which the Lakers responded with a 7-0 run. It went from, it was just Luka not playing well to Luka playing well, just like that. When you play that kind of style and you rely on one guy so much, and again, some might be wondering, Dime, do you have the same criticism of Luka that you do with Harden because of the way he plays? Yes, very largely. However, Luka embraces the mid-range game, and offensively, it feels like he's much less predictable, and he's just got that bully ball effect, and he's taller. So I think Luka's better, but I still think that will be a concern at the very high levels. Harrison Barnes has been off to an incredible start shooting the 3-ball this season. He was hitting threes in this game. And Smart, he was actually not hitting the 3-ball in this game, but he was doing all the other things that he does so well. The Spurs went on an 8-0 run to go up 10 points in the third quarter, and the Lakers were not hitting shots, but it was partially because of the Spurs defense. And again, they don't have Austin Reeves in this game. Spurs went up by as many as 12 and outscored the Lakers 37-28 in the third quarter to go up by 8 going into the fourth. And I really thought the Lakers were going to lose this game and their streak was going to get snapped. And all I was saying was, can Luka actually play basketball without baiting for fouls? Will they be able to score with him out of the game? I don't know. In the beginning of the fourth quarter, Marcus Smart took some dumb threes. And he's always done that shit, even with Boston. Like, he always took threes where he thinks he's a much better shooter than he is and stuff like that. But what's his name? He drew a charge on Wemby, which was his fifth foul at the start of the fourth. And then Redick immediately put Luka back in the game because they could not create shots. And I thought he and Ayton linked up pretty well. Ayton had a solid game, finishing, rebounding, blocking shots too. And the Spurs, they showed their inexperience in this game, just like with committing some dumb fouls when they were already over the limit. Rui drew the sixth foul on Wemby, and when Wemby fouled out, the game changed. Luka had a go-ahead three to put them up 113 to 112. And then Ayton and Smart made clutch free throws. Laravia had a big offensive board too. And I thought it was over. But then Smart, he almost cost the Lakers the game, stepping over the line on the inbounds. And Champagny got a chance to actually like tie the game at the free throw line and then miss free throws. So Lakers got the job done, won that one 118 to 112. I'm sorry, 118 to 116 to win their fifth straight at that time. Sorry, guys, my throat is dry. But anyway, in that game, I mean, they didn't get much off their bench. A total of 19 points off their bench. Jake Laravia only had 8 points. Didn't actually shoot well in this game. 3 for 9, 1 for 5 from 3. Rui shot amazing again. 15 points on 5 for 9 shooting and 2 for 3 from deep. Marcus Smart, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Did turn the ball over 3 times. Did shoot 3 for 10 from the field and 1 for 7 from 3, but got to the line 10 times and made all 10 of them. And then Ayton, 22 and 10. So another 20 and 10 game for him in a row, back to back there. 22 and 10 for Ayton, to go along with a steal and 2 blocks and no turnovers on 9 for 13 shooting. This was a great stretch for him with like approximately 8 good games in a row. And then Luka, 35, 9, and 13. That's 13 assists, of course, to go along with 5 steals and 2 blocks. That's crazy. Luka Doncic with 5 steals. But he did not shoot well. It didn't matter, though. They won. 9 for 27 from the field, 4 for 11 from 3, and 13 for 17 from the free throw line. Lakers moved on to 7-2 after that one. So, again, as I told you, Laker fans, I'm going to try to cover every game. We're trying to knock these all out. I'm trying to be up to date with every Laker and Clipper game just for the sake of saying it. All right. Now we're going to move on to the Lakers road trip at Atlanta. And this brings me to this. With Atlanta, I have to say, they were really impressive in the stretch without Trae Young. When they played us and they played the Lakers, it's like without Trae Young, you don't have that heliocentric ball dominator that everybody's kind of like loading up on and everyone's game planning for. You now are playing with a bunch of athletes. They immediately get better defensively because you're taking Trae Young out of there. But you have a bunch of athletes that are getting up and down. You don't know who's really going to beat you. You're allowing other guys. It's kind of like Miami. You're allowing these guys that don't necessarily create out of nothing, but can create out of advantages. And with the Hawks getting more stops, and even with Porzingis out, right? With Porzingis out, let's see, did he play in this game? He didn't. So you get Onyeka Okongwu, who's really lively, really athletic, is going to rim run, and will roll to the basket hard, whereas Porzingis kind of picks and pops. So you get a lot more movement out of them. You get a better defensive unit, and you have a lot more guys willing to cut off ball because you don't have a pick-and-roll-centric offense. So it's like Jalen Johnson in the high post. Guys are cutting off of him. Jalen Johnson's running pick and roll, trying to turn the corner, stuff like that. And the Lakers, I think, in this game totally underestimated the Atlanta Hawks. We were like, oh, no Trae Young. We don't have Austin Reeves, but it's no big deal. And the Hawks created 5 first-quarter turnovers in the Lakers, who came out super careless. Ayton, this was the first bad game, in my opinion, for Ayton since the opening game against the Warriors. He was like fumbling the ball. He made bad reads in pick and roll early. And you could just see exactly what I said. Without Trae Young, the Hawks moved the ball better. They moved more off it. They moved more on the ball, or the ball moved more, and they moved more without the ball. And the Lakers were not playing D in this game. Not Ayton contesting shots. And if Marcus Smart is getting lost off ball and he's not playing good defense, then you know this Laker team won't defend. So if Marcus Smart's not playing good D, no chance. Luka was over helping on guys. Even Laravia was getting blown by, turning his back to the ball constantly. And Zachary Risachet was playing really, really well. He had 19 points in this game on 7 for 14 shooting, 3 for 7 from 3, and made both of his free throws. He was really good. And when they get out in transition, you get to see the athleticism of these guys like Dyson Daniels or Risachet. Like Dyson Daniels, for example, 10 points and 13 assists to go along with 8 rebounds. The man almost had a triple-double. Has he ever had 13 assists in a game? I would like to see if this was a career high for him. Mo Gay had a career high 21 points. He hit this reverse layup that I was like, is that Mo Jordan? Like, what? It was insane. Reverse layup on the left side. Asa Newell had 17 points. Veet Krejci had 17 points, and Clipper fans are familiar with him. 21, 7, and 7, by the way, from Mo Gay. So, and Keaton Wallace had 14 and 7. I mean, everyone stepped up. Everyone. Onyeka, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Everyone stepped up. They shot 52% from the field, 41% from 3, and 91% from the free throw line. The Lakers turned the ball over 20 times, and the Hawks scored 36 points off those turnovers. The Lakers actually did not shoot that badly, is the crazy part. 46% from the field and 40 from 3. But the Hawks, because of those turnovers, shot 12 more shot attempts and shot at a higher clip at 52% and shot 41% from 3 and 91% from the line. Even though they lost the rebounding battle, they beat the Lakers by 20 to snap their 5-game winning streak, 122 to 102. I thought, it's crazy. Again, Bronny was part of the rotation. And this game, Nick Smith Jr. was off. There were almost all the same shots they hit versus Portland, and he only started hitting in garbage time in this game. He was 1 for 8 from the field and 1 for 4 from deep in 23 minutes and just finished with 3 points. Bronny James had some points in garbage time, 9 points on 4 for 6 shooting and 1 for 2 from 3 to go along with 2 boards and 2 dimes. But yeah, that's all. And Jared Vanderbilt had a hilarious stat line. He was getting a lot of rebounds, a lot of uncontested rebounds that didn't really affect the game, but he had 12 points and 18 boards, which was nice to see. But 36 points off of the 20 Laker turnovers was the story of the game. They led by as many as 30. I think the Lakers just did not come out to play in this one. Ayton was sleepwalking. Rui finally had a bad shooting game. And then Luka had his lowest scoring game of the season so far. A lot of threes, 5 turnovers. So just reading the lines for them, Rui had only 8 points on 3 for 9 shooting. He did still shoot well from 3 somehow, 2 for 3, but it was 3 for 9 from the field and only had 8 points. So he finally shot poorly. And then Ayton had 11 points on 5 of 5 shooting, but he had 3 turnovers in 20 minutes. He just did not look engaged. And sometimes you're just going to get that DeAndre Ayton that doesn't look like they give a fuck. And that's the problem with him. But 2 games out of 10, I think you'll take that if you're a Laker fan. Then Luka, 22 points, 5 boards, 11 assists. Sounds great, but he had 5 turnovers and was 7 for 17 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, and 4 of 6 from the foul line. So the Lakers, their streak came to an end there at 7-3. Don't think we're done. Don't think we're done. I've been putting in work. Then they played against the Charlotte Hornets. And this was more of just like the Hornets were playing above their skin in the first half. No LaMelo, no Brandon Miller, and Austin Reeves came back. By the way, I like Kalkbrenner. I like his rim protection. But Luka was in attack mode in the first quarter, and that's been the case so far this season. Is Luka has just been in attack mode in the first quarter like he was in Dallas. Those first quarter Luka heaters, I mean, that has become signature from him. He had 13 points in the first quarter, but you know who had a big first quarter on the other side? Miles Bridges, 6 for 6 from the field in the first quarter, 4 for 4 from 3, and some of them contested. Ayton was bouncing back in this one, 6 points. 4 points off lobs, 6 points for AR in the first quarter. Con Canupo had 9 points in the first quarter. And the reason why I'm naming all these guys that had points is because there was no defense in the first quarter. It was just exchanging buckets. Charlotte was actually up 40-36 after 1. And all I was thinking was Lakers just got to play some D and rebound and they're going to be fine. Second quarter with Luka out of the game, it was an Austin Reeves takeover. Getting to the foul line, getting downhill, just making good reads and pick and roll. But the Hornets responded with a little 9-0 run. The Lakers could not make an open 3. They took some bad shots, and the Hornets could not miss. And Rui was really struggling to guard Miles Bridges, and they also could not rebound. But then Luka came in, and he picked up right where he left off. Austin Reeves had a buzzer-beating layup to end the quarter after a 2-for-1 when Luka hit a 3 before that. So in the second quarter, the Lakers outscored the Hornets 29-23 and led by a score of 65-63 at halftime. And all I was thinking was if the Hornets cool down and the Lakers play some defense, they're going to run away with it. And that's exactly what happened. The Lakers punched first in the third. They went up by 9 after Rui Hachimura hit 3 threes. Luka actually was putting in a decent effort on defense as well. And they were just turning Charlotte over. They're a young team. They don't have LaMelo. They don't have Brandon Miller. They're not very good. Lakers getting turnovers, getting out and running. Rui had 11 points. And yeah, Luka stayed aggressive. I thought Marcus Smart was working hard on both ends again, getting after loose balls, and the Lakers really shut down the Hornets in that third quarter, outscored them 31-15 to set themselves up for a cruise control fourth. But the Hornets made a little run. I'll give them some credit. They got the Lakers in the bonus with 9 minutes to go, and the Lakers got very careless with the ball, stepping out of bounds, throwing the ball away. So the Hornets cut the game to 8. It's very similar to tonight's Clipper game, fake run. But Smart, he had a lot of big steals and hit a dagger 3. And Rui Hachimura was just lights out in the second half. I thought Ayton was not fed too much in the second half. The closest the Hornets got it down to was 6, but the Lakers pulled it out 121-111 to get back to winning ways. As far as the lines, the Lakers shot 50% in that one. Hornets shot 52%. And that's the reason why it was even close, because the Hornets shot like had an outlier shooting game. Lakers shot 36% from 3. Hornets shot 47% from 3. Lakers shot 85% from the free throw line. Hornets shot 91% from the free throw line. So they actually shot better than the Lakers in every single category, but they turned the ball over 23 times. And that's going to cost you, which led to 31 Laker points. The Lakers only played 9 deep in this game. Bronny James did not play. Dalton Connect, he hasn't been great so far in these first 11 games, in my opinion. Jackson Hayes didn't do much either. Don't got much to report there. They only got 11 points off the bench. Even LaRavia was just 2 for 8. So 11 points off the bench was nothing. But all the starters had 13 or more points, starting with Marcus Smart, who had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 steals for Marcus Smart. 7 steals. Man's been hooping so far in these first 11 games. 4 for 9 from the field, 3 for 7 from deep, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. DeAndre Ayton, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 3 turnovers on 7 for 10 shooting. I thought he was solid. He got phased out a little more in the second half, but I thought he was solid. Rui, 21 points on 9 for 12 shooting and 3 for 3 from downtown after a quiet first half. 75%, 100 splits. The guy's been on a heater these first 11 games. Then AR, 24 points, another 20-plus point game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover only on 7 for 17 shooting. On, again, a little bit too many threes, and they did not go in. 2 for 10 from 3, 5 for 7 from 2, 8 for 11 from the free throw line, so a little bit suspect there from the line. And then Luka, my player of the game, again, 38 points, 6 rebounds, 7 dimes, 1 steal, 2 turnovers on 14 for 28 shooting, 5 for 15 from 3. It's a lot of threes. And 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Lakers get back to winning ways on that one, advance to 8-3. All right, just kidding. I still got 2 more for you. That's the crazy part. I still got 2 more for you. So, by the way, 79 people in here listening to me talk about Laker games that happened like a week ago. That's crazy. That's crazy, but I hope my Laker fans are enjoying it because I'm trying my best to cover all their games. Lakers and Thunder. This was a clear, and by the way, Reeves played in this game. This was a clear, there's levels to this shit game. Levels. In the Thunder, they have 2 rim protectors and a bunch of good point of attack guys. Case and Wallace, SGA, Lou Dort. And Lou Dort didn't even play in this game. But Case and Wallace is guarding Luka, and he's doing a hell of a job. And then, like, who do the Lakers have to guard SGA? You know what I'm saying? As the game went on, that was it. And then AJ Mitchell, I mean, where did he come from? AJ Mitchell was the 2nd round pick in last year's draft. This guy played 36 games last year. 36 games. And now he's been an integral part of everything that they're doing. It's insane. It is insane. But yeah, the Lakers only scored 18 points in the first quarter. Luka was getting clamped. AR was getting clamped. AJ Mitchell was looking like Jalen Brunson. And Luka was ball hogging, by the way. Even when the defense was loaded up, he was not. There was no pass possessions. He was looking for fouls, turned the ball over twice. And Ayton just had shitty hands. I mean, he just doesn't have great hands. 18 points in the first quarter after the way the Lakers have been scoring offensively is insane and a testament to how good OKC's defense is. And I'm not even just talking about like they weren't, you know, that people always talk about how much OKC gets away with. They weren't even hacking like that. They were just locking down. The Lakers did not score a field goal for over 7 minutes in the second quarter, by the way. 7 minutes. And the Thunder just blew them away. I mean, transition, their role players are so good. SGA is the best player on the floor. They outscored them 40-20 in the second quarter, and they were up 70-38 at halftime, and that was that. I mean, it was a clear slow down. You're not contenders yet. However, no LeBron, but they didn't have Jalen Williams or Lou Dort. So it's like, oh my God. Lakers shot 40. They lose 121-92 in this one. They shot 40% from the field to the Thunder's 50. Both teams shot 31% from three. Lakers shot 68% from the free throw line. Thunder shot 91% from the free throw line. Dalton Connect, silver lining. He had 16 points on 6 for 7 shooting and 4 or 5 from 3. But the main men, Rui Hachimura, still efficient, 13 points on 5 for 11 shooting and 2 for 5 from downtown. Ayton played horribly. I thought this was his third bad game out of 12, so a quarter of the game's been bad. He had 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 turnovers on 3 for 5 shooting in 26 minutes. Marcus Smart was broken this game, 9 points, 1 for 5 shooting, and 1 for 4 from downtown. Reeves held below 20 for the first time in the season. 13 points on 4 for 12 shooting, 0 for 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, 3 assists for AR in this one to go along with 5 turnovers. He and Luka combined for 9 turnovers. And if you combine with Ayton, they combined for 13 turnovers. They had 20 in the game, and that's what OKC does. They turn you over and they run you out the gym. Luka, 19 points, 7 boards, 7 assists, 2 steals, 4 turnovers on 7 for 20 shooting. And as with Reeves, Luka Doncic, for the first time this season, was held under 20 points, which is a testament to the incredible defense of the Thunder, who advanced to 12-1 on the season and undefeated at home at that point. Lakers 8-4. And now the last game of tonight's live that I'm going to talk about is the Lakers and the Pelicans. So if you're doing the math right, by the next live or two, I should be all caught up to date with the Lakers. So Lakers and Pelicans. Of course, the Pelicans are without Zion Williamson and Jordan Poole, so for me, there's no competition there. And I thought that the Lakers, they were down 10-11, and they went on a 15-0 run. Their offense was just too much. It's AR, it's Luka, it's hard to guard. The Pels started throwing 2 on the ball with Luka, and they started getting good shots from other guys. The Lakers were up 35-25 after 1. In the second half, I thought Jake LaRavia did a good job being active with his hands on defense. That allowed for the Lakers to get out and run a little bit. Luka had some great passes. However, the team cooled down when Luka was out of the game. Smart, still kind of in a little bit of a shooting slump. And Trey Murphy, I thought, was doing a great job keeping the Pelicans within striking distance. The Lakers were up 65-52 at halftime. Then in the third quarter, it was kind of similar to Charlotte. Luka and AR just kind of took over, responded to every pick and roll coverage that was thrown at them. Rui was knocking down shots. Ayton was rebounding, getting putbacks. But the Pels made a little run, just like the Charlotte game. They cut it down to 8. Then AR had 2 straight buckets on Jose Alvarado. And Luka had some big blocks and steals in the second half, and they kind of ran away with it. Won 118-104. They outscored the Pelicans in every quarter but the fourth. They went 9 deep in this game. Dalton Connect, 5 points on 2 for 5 shooting, 1 for 3 from deep. I mean, I haven't seen too much good stuff, in my opinion, from Dalton these first 13 games that I've watched, or 12, because one of them I didn't watch. But we've covered all of them on this channel so far, 13 games. Jackson Hayes didn't do much for me. 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 for 3 shooting. They only got 14 points off the bench. 16 points off the bench. That's nothing. Whereas the Pelicans got more than 20. But the starters, they all played 34 or more minutes, and they all scored 13 plus points. Marcus Smart had 13, 5, and 5 to go along with 2 steals, 2 turnovers on 6 for 15 shooting, 1 for 10 from 3. So 5 for 5 from inside the arc. But Jesus, shooting slump the last couple of games for him there. But he still plays well. I mean, without him, I just don't think they'd be doing what they're doing. Then Rui, another insanely efficient game, 14 points, 4 rebounds on 6 for 10 shooting and 2 for 5 from 3, 60-40 splits. And then Ayton, back to his 20 and 10 self, 20 points and 16 rebounds in this one to go along with 2 assists, 2 steals and a block, 4 turnovers on 10 for 11 shooting. I mean, he was a beast in this game. It's just the consistency with Ayton. And then Luka, 24 points, 7 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, 3 turnovers on 6 for 16 shooting, 3 for 8 from downtown, 9 for 13 from the free throw line. It wasn't his best shooting game. I'll just say that. But he still got a double-double, damn near a triple-double. My player of the game was Austin Reeves in this game. 31 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 turnovers on 9 for 16 shooting, 2 for 6 from 3, and 11 for 13 from the free throw line. The Lakers win it 118-104 and and move on to 9-4. For them, that would be on this road trip that they were on. They would be 2-2 so far on the roadie. And after being 2-2, they have won 7 of the last 9 games that they've played. So 9-4, where I'm currently at with them. And we'll be covering the rest of their games and getting back on track with them very soon. So appreciate everybody for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Laker fans, let me know what you think. If you still appreciate the content that I'm still trying to talk about your games. And for the Clippers, blow that shit sky high. Peace out. Locked On Clippers will be out tomorrow as well. We'll be live after the next Clipper game, which will be on Wednesday. Peace. Have a great night.